Oh me, oh my, people of the world. It's Thursday, July 30th. It's hot out there. Today, TikTok CEO Kevin Mayer issues challenge to Facebook in first public statement. Snapchat publishes new study into evolving video consumption behavior. What's changing? Trump calls for review of Section 230 laws and moves to the next stage of that. Google highlights Black-owned businesses in search results. Feedback optimization, a user-first approach to search engine optimization. What SEOs get wrong about Google updates. This is Marketing as a Foreign Language, and it starts right now. All right. Okay, TikTok CEO Kevin Mayer. What is this challenge to Facebook? What is it really? After coming into the role back in May, new US-based TikTok CEO Kevin Mayer has today issued his first public statement in which he takes an aggressive stance in facing up to the challenges posed by regulators and competitors. Let's not forget that there is a large US operation for the Chinese-based TikTok. So obviously there are American jobs at stake here. Facing up to the challenges posed by regulators and competitors whom he says are seeking to shut the app down. TikTok is currently under investigation in the United States and other regions over its links to the Chinese government, which has already resulted in the platform being banned in India. That's a big deal. Amid the speculation, Facebook has also taken the opportunity to further squeeze the app by releasing its similar Reels functionality on Instagram into more markets. We covered this yesterday about how Facebook is Instagram is paying influencers to publish on Reels. I don't know if they're paying them to abandon TikTok completely or how exactly that's going to work. Facebook has even offered deals to prominent TikTok creators to get them to share their content on Reels instead. And Mayer apparently has had enough of Facebook's efforts in this respect. Quote, "Innovation is one of the defining characteristics of a competitive market. The introduction of a successful new product fuels growth and dynamism in any industry. It is unfortunate for creators, brands, and the broader community that it has been years since a company came along and reimagined what a social entertainment platform could be. But TikTok did just that." This is the angle Mayer takes in his statement that TikTok is good for competition. It's definitely good for him as the CEO, which is good for the market more broadly. Therefore, any effort to limit or even remove TikTok will only work to benefit the larger players in the sector. I suppose there's an argument there. I think, obviously, the data privacy issues surrounding TikTok are causing pause among many users and many governments. It's no coincidence that Mayer's statement comes as Facebook, Google, and Apple face a Senate antitrust hearing in which various politicians will present arguments that the tech giants have structured anti-competitive systems which now work to benefit them. This is something I'm interested in diving into. An antitrust hearing of tech giants. So TheVerge.com, how the CEOs of Apple, Google, Amazon, and Facebook plan to defend big tech today ahead of the antitrust hearing that's due to take place later today. This was on the 29th of July, so this was yesterday. The opening statements from the CEOs of Apple, Google, Amazon, and Facebook have been published on the House Judiciary Committee's website, ranging in length from 4 to 8 pages. These statements give us our best look yet at how Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg plan to defend their companies from the latest wave of antitrust scrutiny and accusations that some of their actions harm consumers and stifle competition. There are a lot of similarities between the 4 statements, which you can read here. We will not be doing that. For example, they all make appeals to American patriotism. The rest of the world would love even the tiniest sip of the elixir we have here in the U.S., Bezos claims, well, he definitely does have an elixir, doesn't he, in his many billions of dollars, and talk about the benefits their products offer to consumers as well as small businesses. I can't argue that Amazon isn't the greatest, most incredible, Christmas-inducing festivity if you have money. Amazon is unbelievable what they do. That being said, I wonder how much taxes Amazon actually pays. You know what I mean? I wonder how much taxes. So let's take a look. How much tax does Amazon pay each year? Let's dive into that. Okay, wow. Amazon had to pay federal tax for the first time. Let's look into this. So, according to CNBC.com, Amazon had to pay federal income taxes for the first time since 2016. Here's how much. When Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos tweeted a picture of himself with singer and rapper Lizzo at the Super Bowl in Miami, saying he was 100% Lizzo's biggest fan, the response from the Twitter sphere was more about his 1% status. Pay taxes, Twitter users said. But for the first time since 2016, Amazon's critics won't be able to point to the tech giant's non-existent federal tax bill. That's because Amazon actually owed money to the federal government in 2019, amazingly. After 2 straight years of paying $0 in U.S. federal income tax, Amazon was on the hook for a $162 million bill in 2019, the company said in an SEC filing on Thursday. Of course, $162 million is still just a fraction of the $13.9 billion in pre-tax income Amazon reported for 2019, roughly 1.2%. Oh, I'd love that tax bill. The federal corporate tax rate is 21%, but as in the past, Amazon likely employed various tax credits and deductions to reduce its federal tax bill. Amazon also reported $280.5 billion in total revenue in 2019. Amazon has been the subject of much criticism over the fact that the company's final federal tax burden has been particularly lacking in recent years. The company also came under fire for seeking huge tax incentives worth billions of dollars as part of its search for a second headquarters, or HQ2, in 2018. In 2018, Amazon posted income of more than $11 billion, but the company paid $0 in federal taxes. They're still paying payroll taxes, I imagine. And they're still probably paying local state taxes, taxes on property, and other taxes. So it's disingenuous to say that they're paying no taxes. So I wonder, how much does Amazon pay in payroll taxes? This I am curious about. Don't care about that. Why Amazon pays no corporate taxes? I don't think we know, because it would be based on. Yeah, none of these articles are getting us. Here we go. Amazon pays billions in taxes. This may be the National Review. Yes, Amazon pays taxes, billions of dollars worth, in fact, but don't rely on the New York Times to tell you that. The 2020 Democratic contenders, blah, 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 blah. They're all saying profitable giants like Amazon pay $0 in corporate taxes. We get it. Some voters are sick of it. We get it. This is the article quotes Senator Bernie Sanders, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Amazon has paid billions of dollars in corporate income tax in recent years, though in some years it has paid no tax on profits because, don't let the accounting terminology scare you off here, it lost money. Amazon has a very large footprint in the culture and in online commerce, but it is not a wildly profitable company. What? In fact, the usual complaint about Amazon is that it is foregoing profits in the here and now as part of a long-term world domination scheme, according to this article. Companies do not usually pay any tax on profits when they do not have any profits. Well, this is bizarre. But sometimes companies have no tax liability in years when they do show profits. That was the case with Amazon in 2018. There are 3 main reasons for that worth understanding. Okay, so first, the U.S. tax code realizes that businesses have both profitable and unprofitable years, and so it allows businesses to average out their income by carrying losses forward. For example, if company X lost $25 million this year but makes $100 million next year, it can deduct some or all of that $25 million in losses from that $100 million in income. If the company lost more money in early years, than it makes this year, then those losses may be enough to offset its income entirely. Yes, we understand this. Some businesses, such as energy, are highly cyclical. Others, such as real estate, can take a long time to become profitable. We understand. Second, our tax code encourages other things too, including spending money on research and development. Companies such as Amazon spend tremendous amounts of money on R&D, and there are tax benefits for doing so. This is not a loophole. This is an intentionally designed feature of our tax policy. Government is always eager to encourage R&D spending. You got to wonder what Amazon's R&D spending is. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole with this for sure. Third, stock-based compensation can reduce tax liabilities. If you want to get into the accounting nerdery, I like that, of this, start here. The simplified version: companies sometimes pay executives and lowly newspaper editors in stock options. Yeah, that's true. A stock option is a contract entitling the holder of the option to purchase a certain number of shares of a stock at a certain price. The idea is to align the incentives of the shareholders and their employees by giving both parties a personal interest in the share price and hence the overall health and performance of the business. I get it. If a company gives its employees the option of buying 1 million shares at $10, then those employees will make 1 million if they exercise the options when the stock is at $11. We get it. The company can then deduct that 1 million from its income as employee compensation. All right. This looks like trickery to some people because that 1 million didn't come from ordinary business income, but from an increase in the value of company shares. So you got to wonder then, how many stock options is Amazon? I mean, we're only scratching the surface. I want to know, and this did not answer my question, how much payroll tax Amazon pays. How much payroll tax does Amazon pay? Why don't we know this? I'm annoyed. How much does Amazon pay in payroll taxes is giving no results. If they employ, all right, how many people? We can do it this way. How many people does Amazon employ in the USA? Oh, 798,000. So yeah, these are, I assume, W-2 employees. And what is standard payroll tax? I think I pay like 11%. I don't know if all of that goes to, well, no, it's a payroll tax. So there you go. I mean, more or less that. All right. So you can argue that they're paying payroll tax. So anyway, down the rabbit hole we went. Senate antitrust hearing. So various politicians are presenting arguments that the tech giants have structured anti-competitive systems, which now work to benefit them while also seeking to crush competition via their market dominance. I mean, if they're paying no taxes, which isn't true, they're paying some taxes. If they're not paying, quote, enough taxes, then I guess you could argue that they should be doing that. Should we try to break up Amazon? I enjoy my Amazon. Anyone else there enjoy their Amazon? Indeed, already one statement of evidence presented in the hearing has been a discussion around Facebook purchasing Instagram to neutralize a competitor. Well, yeah, duh. Mayer looks to hone in on this point, underlying, this is the TikTok CEO, underlying the benefits of a more competitive market. Without TikTok, American advertisers would again be left with few choices. I'm happy with my choices. Competition would dry up, and so too will an outlet for America's creative energy. If you don't like Google, you can go to Facebook. If you don't like either of them, you can go to Snapchat. I don't feel like the prices for Google ads are too crazy because we can still return on investment. Because you have to understand that Google ads, because there aren't a ton of choices out there, I get it. You've got Google ads, you've got LinkedIn, you've got Facebook, you've got Snapchat. If Google ads get too expensive, the reason they're too expensive is because the marketplace is dictating that you can't get return on investment, right? So if you're a personal injury attorney and Google's charging you $200 a click and you can't make ends meet, well, neither can Joe Schmo down the street, not really. And so you do find a market equilibrium with just Google ads. You can go to Bing ads. They are cheaper. And we've done that in the past. So there are other options. It's just that nobody has any interest in those other options. So would I be happy if the government attacked Google, weakened them, and all of a sudden Bing took up like 40% market share? Not really, because now I have to manage Google ads and Bing ads. and the price will stabilize anyway. So I don't really know what they're after here. Consumers can only benefit from the growth of healthy, successful platforms like TikTok, and we will fight to continue to give American creators, users, and brands an entertaining outlet for many years to come. Well, yes, of course, TikTok CEO wants this. I think the geopolitical politics of TikTok being a Chinese-based company is actually the primary driver of why this is contentious. Also, the fact that the privacy has been not a top priority for TikTok, as many scandals have echoed through their space. So, TikTok CEO wants to fight the other tech giants? Well, sure, that makes sense. Not surprising at all. Okay, Amazon employs 798,000 people, apparently, in the United States. Now you know that. Snapchat publishes new study into evolving video consumption behaviors. So what are people doing Snapchat that they didn't do before? So this report's based on research conducted by the National Research Group and incorporates responses from over 1,000 respondents aged 13 to 35. Okay, great. So what are they doing? Snapchat notes the rise in media consumption via smartphone. We get it. So from 2014 to 2020, consumers are spending more time with mobile media. I get it. I'm trying to figure out how much. Is this per day? Why don't you tell me? Here we go. Premium content is driving the surge in mobile video. Daily engagement has grown 40% in 2020, and 1 in 2 consumers enjoy premium content on their smartphone every day. Gen Z and millennials are also spending more minutes with mobile entertainment, with 73% of consumers watching more video on their smartphone than they ever did, rather than they did a year ago. I don't know what this 2.5 hours to 4.5 hours means, if that's daily or weekly. If it's daily, that's ridiculous. Spending more time with mobile media. I assume that's per week. I wish they told us. This is important to note because while most people are aware of such behavioral shifts, it's relevant to underline the significance of such in more recent times when social media was already largely ubiquitous. Most people consider technological advances in more broad terms, quote, things that are a lot different, blah, blah, blah. 2010, smartphones are ubiquitous. We get a 2020 rise of premium mobile video. I wonder if they mean... Also, thank you for the likes, whoever's hitting those like buttons. Much appreciated. Much love, much thank you. So mobile video focus is exponentially higher among Gen Zs and millennials. Duh. Oh, these articles are so boring. Percent of Gen Zs and millennials who watch mobile video daily. A lot of them. We get it. No. Hard pass. Trump's call for a review of Section 230 laws. No idea what those are. Moves to next stage. President Trump's executive order for a review of Section 230 laws, which provide a level of legal exemption for digital platforms with respect to liability for what users post to them. Ooh, that's interesting. Section 230 laws. Legal exemption for digital platforms with respect to liability for what users post to them has now moved to the next stage with the FCC to decide on the fate of the proposal and the case for any such revision. So should I, as the CEO or owner of Twitter, be responsible for what Trump publishes or what Bill Maher tweets? Trump issued this executive order after Twitter added warning labels to 2 of his tweets. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It's crazy. Did you hear that President Trump today mentioned delaying the election? Anyone hear about that? I want to look at that real quick. Delaying the election. Trump suggests, delaying presidential elections as dire economic data released. Yikes, bagikes. All right. Well, that's a thing. So, increased transparency and accountability from online platforms in regards to platform policies. I guess the point I'm trying to make is there is an incentive for President Trump to attack the very organizations that are slapping warnings on his tweets. So for that, I mean, I can't remember the last time a president had that sort of intimate relationship with there's got to be examples. I just don't know any of a president who's like fighting against a particular newspaper, say. But the difference is that, I don't think we've ever lived in an ecosystem in which the president or major media figures are posting on other people's platforms. I think in the past you could get someone to write a magazine article for you, but you wouldn't be able to like slap a warning on it. It's just a whole new world. Esther Sass writes, "It's a decoy." Look over here. Look over here, Esther Sass. Look at the jingling keys. If the FCC does decide to action the request, it could implement new restrictions on how social platforms operate, which would limit their capacity to take action on content. I don't know, man. I mean, it would depend on the particular instance, but I am more leaning towards let Twitter do whatever Twitter wants. Let Facebook do what Facebook wants in regards to their own content. But I'm sure you'd be able to pull up individual cases where I would go, okay, that's ridiculous. So should Twitter be able to say this is misleading information on a tweet? I don't know. Man, should they be able to say? I think they should. As a company that owns, like if I own a website and someone comes on and they post something I think it's ridiculous or hateful or whatever, I feel like as the owner of that website, it's my website. You know what I'm saying? Like for some reason when these companies get so big, all of a sudden we stop seeing it in terms of what it would be like if you were actually the owner. Because it's hard to think about being the owner of Twitter, right? It sounds insane. But let's say you start a website that's all about shoes and some dude leaves a comment and it's crazy. You can say whatever you want. You can remove the comment. You can ban the guy. You can, you have full, like they have no ownership over your website. That's crazy, right? So all of a sudden when Twitter is massive, then all of a sudden we say, okay, Twitter, never mind. You're too big. You're too big now. You wield too much power and we're going to go ahead and not let you do those things. It just seems odd to me that at scale, all of a sudden it's something where we can attack them for policing their own website. You know what I mean? Tell me I'm wrong, chat. Tell me I'm wrong. Essentially, applying traditional media regulations on contributor-driven networks is virtually unworkable, which means that the FCC would need to implement a whole new regulatory framework. Exactly. How do you regulate that? Which is possible, and definitely plenty of nations are already calling on social networks to take more action to address hate speech and other content violations. So yeah, you got people on both sides of the aisle getting cranky. You've got people that are upset that they're being censored, you could say, or that their tweets are being labeled as they would perceive incorrectly. You got people on the other side of the aisle going, "You're crazy. You shouldn't allow this at all. And if you do allow it, we're going to boycott you." Now, them boycotting the idea is one thing. Them boycotting Twitter, that's fine. But to tell Twitter that you can't do what you want on your own website, I don't know. Google highlights Black-owned businesses in search results. An update is being rolled out to Google My Business that is designed to support Black-owned businesses. Google is extending its support for Black-owned businesses, an update to Google My Business, and an announcement of 2 new initiatives. Businesses in the U.S. with a verified Google My Business profile will be able to add a Black-owned attribute for everyone to see. We already have veteran-owned, woman-owned. So in addition, as part of a $300 million commitment to support underrepresented entrepreneurs, the attribute will be added to Google's digital skills training programs offered to Black business owners. Through the Google for Startup Accelerator for Black Founders, Google is starting work with its first group of 12 startups. I think you have to keep it honest, writes Esther Sass. How about labeling blatant lies and putting asterisks on questionable info? Yeah, it's tough because you're using an algorithm 9 times out of 10 to determine whether or not something is misleading information. So yeah, it's sticky. I like looking at it on a case-by-case basis. I feel like talking about every potential tweet is problematic. I think there are some tweets that I would obviously go, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Twitter. Well, again, Twitter, I think, should be able to do whatever they want on their own website. Ultimately, it's their website. But again, I'm sure you can find instances where their choice is terrible, and I would disagree with it entirely. So it's a case-by-case basis. Black-owned attribute in Google My Business. So yeah, I mean, this is just an extension of something Google's been doing lately. If folks want to throw black-owned on their Google My Business profile, that's fine by me. Killer Mike did a documentary where he tried to just purchase from black-owned businesses for like a month or something, and he struggled big time. He was not able. It was hard to find them. It was hard for him to. There just weren't that many. So I get it. I totally get it. It's fine. Works for me. Quote, to help the word out about new black-owned attribute, we partner with the U.S. Black Chambers with 145 Black Chambers of Commerce and 326,000 members across the country. Yeah, makes sense to me. Okay, feedback optimization, a user-first approach to SEO. Feedback optimization is the process of using readers' comments to improve your content, and this is not something we're going to talk about today. We're not going to talk about it. Farewell. Bye-bye. Hey, look. All right, so today, TikTok CEO Kevin Mayer issues challenge to Facebook in first public statement. I don't know, man. If your company is like stealing information off of clipboards and has been accused of like taking information from minors, it's kind of, and it's a country, it's coming from a Chinese company. I can see arguments from Americans about our willingness to continue to allow that content from being taken. I mean, there's a big push to buy American-made nowadays, at least if you are an American. That being said, I would argue that the CEO, Kevin Mayer, does have a point when he talks about just the marketplace doing what it does and allowing for competition here. So I can't really argue against that. But I do think that the standards for privacy coming from TikTok are going to be a lot different if they can comply. Okay. So we talked about Amazon a bit. I think I closed that one. This was a boring article. And last but not least, oh yeah, the review of Section 230 laws. So again, in review, Section 230 laws provide a level of legal exemption for digital platforms with respect to liability for what users post to them. So the fight continues. I guess I will quickly say, in closing, that Twitter, Facebook, I'm happy, Amazon, I'm happy that these companies exist. You know what I mean? Like I'm pleased that they exist. And here's the thing. I don't even use them. I'm not even a user of Facebook. I'm not a user of Twitter. But as an American, I'm happy that, America birthed these companies. I'm pleased about it. We would have to spend an entire day understanding the tax ramifications of Amazon. Should they pay their fair share in taxes? Yes, of course they should. But that is perhaps a topic for another day. It's Thursday. This Saturday, I'm going to be on a mountain. It's called Mount Charleston. Very excited for that. Thank you so much for the likes, and we will see y'all next time on Marketing as a Foreign Language. Bye.